I would say probably between 7 to 10. The people working at Zip, that must be where everybody is today. But I said I was taking a break tonight. I needed to get out. Yesterday I was there from 8 in the morning till after 7:30 at night.
Yeah.
It was a long day.
I'm making sure that she eats, even though she said that she wasn't going to.
Oh,
I know
no,
how Brian
she's
is.
here.
So I said, eat. And then I said, then go sit in the bath. Oh, I'm on the board.
This is my life. You don't know. Oh, yeah.
But I said it.
That's what we're having today. We had sandwiches on a couple days. I was like, this tastes better.
What is it she said? She's been eating sandwiches, and I'm like, oh, great, we
We
come
had
here and we
soup
have
and
sandwiches.
sandwich one day, and yesterday was salad and sandwiches.
Who's cooking?
The vodka there.
The Rough Rider?
They usually cook for us, and it's that. Well, they treat us good, they do well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's who does this every
I really don't know much about it.
And they do good.
I recommend some.
I think they're starting off with good.
Oh.
I'll just hold the supper because I'll be there till 11.
Oh, wow.
Is that what you're having
See what you
today?
said, you had enough.
Oh. I don't know who's ever done the beef stroganoff.
Six
That's
shot.
good.
I love that.
Oh, and then there's this chicken dip in there.
I know we've done beef tips and noodles, but not the actual
It's like,
stroganoff.
Western style, that's what I call it.
And
Yeah,
then
we've
there's
done
this
beef tips
chicken
and
that,
noodles.
that they make, they don't make a lot, but if you ever get a chance to have. it.
What is it?
It's,
I
like
like
a
the
chicken
Sunday.
breast, chicken breast with this sauce, and then I think they brought, they brought mashed potatoes.
Mags are
Oh, it was
long.
so good, the
Oh.
flavor, and it was so tender, and.
We had something like that when I was at one of,
I'm gonna be a rebel and sit in the back.
and we did it over there, so.
I said, I'm gonna be a rebel and sit in the back.
And when we had that for one of our walking with our sister meals, there was plenty of things like that.
Oh, wow. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I think everybody might have went to the Sacred Fire or are over with the Sister Walk, whatever thing. We're gonna talk about zombie death. Has anybody, heard that on TV this week? No? It's a big deal that they're coming out with the zombie death. So in the event that you had a medical bill, a, credit card, a utility bill, anything like that. You know, it could have been a bank account that you didn't pay for. There's a new breed of credit collectors that are out there, agencies that are opening up businesses, and they are going around and they are buying all these debts. So if you had, I'm just gonna use Sprint as an example. If you had a phone with Sprint and didn't pay it and it went into collections, they attempted to collect it from you, you never paid it, it just sat there. These people are going around and they're buying these. So, say you owed them like $30, they're buying it for, or you owed them $1,000, they're buying it for $30. So, so they buy the debt from me, and then April buys the debt from me for $30, she's got the $1,000 bill, she's gonna start collecting from you. So anything she makes is 100% profit. So, you really gotta watch, if
How do
some,
you know if it's legit or not?
well, you don't. So if you get the phone call from XYZ business place or whatever that says, you know, hi Robin, you know, of course not gonna be nice like that, but we got this
They
debt
start
you
off
owe,
nice like that.
they do. The first thing that you do is say, I'm not gonna have this conversation, and send me something proving that that's my bill. And they have to do that. They have to prove to you that that's your bill. Unfortunately, if they went and bought that from 10 years ago, nobody's got proof that that was your bill. I'm not telling you not to pay your bills, don't get me wrong, you need to pay them. But if it's that old, they can't prove to you that it is yours. Now, in the back of your head, you're going, oh yeah, I didn't pay that, did I? So, but they have the burden of proof. They have to prove to you that that is your bill. So,
But still, how would you know they were legitimate, not somebody just,
because you're going to also ask them to send you a letter.
oh,
So you're going, and, I mean, and at that, you're still not going to. I mean, if I opened up my own collection agency, I mean, what would it, you know, Sherrill Kennedy Collection Agency, you know, Robin Spencer, you owe me this money from a debt that you had 10 years ago. You know, so,
But with that letter, then they have to send you proof.
Right,
Don't
right.
go off and just the initial letter and look to see, was it a company that you, was a vendor that you used? And, you know, if you have anything on that account still, so you need to do a little bit of background work to verify the information.
and honestly, if you got that phone call, you're gonna know in the back of your head that you had that debt. You know, medical debts, those are a little bit harder to remember, but you're gonna remember that you didn't pay a charter, or that you did get a letter. So, once, you're not gonna acknowledge that that's deficiency balance is gonna go to the next collector, and they're still gonna come back and get you. So don't accept a settlement, unless it's with the legitimate company. You know, if you have a medical bill at McLaren, and they're offering you a settlement, that's good. But they also need to prove to you that they are going to put it on your credit report as a debt settled in full. So, those are the things that you wanna watch out for. Michigan has a statute of limitations on debts, and it's 7.5 years. If you, within that 7.5 years, make a payment towards it, your 7.5 years starts all over again. So it's 7.5 years from the date that you last make a payment on any given debt.
I don't understand. Can you explain that to me?
Okay, I have an account at April Bank, and I stopped paying it last week.
Okay.
So she's been trying to collect it from me, but that 7.5 years starts the last time that I made a payment, the last time I put any, action on the account.
And that just means after 7.5 years, you're not responsible for it. It's past the statute of
It's
limitations.
past the statute,
You don't have
but
to pay
they
it.
can still send it over to the zombie
Right.
collectors, yeah.
But you wouldn't have to pay it.
You don't have to pay it.
But it still has a negative impact on your credit.
It doesn't always fall off. Everybody thinks that, bad debts fall off of your credit report after 7 years, and it doesn't. Sometimes they stay on there, it just depends on who, the company is. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep, they can go after, and that's just, again, depending on what it is. The other thing to look at, if you filed bankruptcy and you didn't include that debt. So say you filed bankruptcy, you're out of your bankruptcy, you're thinking that everything is fine, you're all clean, you're gonna start all over. You forgot this one debt, that's gonna come back up. Which is why it's the zombie debt, because it's gonna raise up from the grave. So, I mean, if you've got these little piddly things that are hanging out there, I mean, it's probably best if you know. If you look at your credit and there's an old hospital bill or a utility bill or something, you know it's yours, just pay it. You know, just take care of it, but pay it to that company, you know. It amazes me that I have a lot of people that I deal with that have charter, but yet they have charter collections on their account. Well, why did charter give you another charter if they're not gonna collect the first one, you know?
You need to be careful with medical bills though, on just paying it, because I went through this with them, it took me almost a year for them to actually process it through Blue Cross Blue Shield. They kept sending me bills, they never processed it through them.
Oh, so Blue Cross didn't pay it.
No, the McLaren never processed that through them. They never charged my account. They were just billing me. even though I went in there and gave them a copy of my card, they kept coming after me. It took them a year to finally get it all.
Yep, you
Well,
have
and that's
to
the
get
other,
one.
yes. With,
So pay
with medical,
attention,
you
just
do
don't pay
have to.
bills when they come in, pay attention to what's coming in and seeing
Right.
if it actually went through your insurance company. Because they're very guilty of doing it. They will
Yeah,
not
it's
bill
like
you.
my daughter had an ambulance bill, and they never billed her Blue Cross.
Yep,
They just sent her the bill, and it's like, so I called her, I said, did you even bill her Blue Cross? It was given to you when we, you know, and we called you and got you that information. Well, no. Well, hey, well, you need to collect from them before you call us, wanting us to pay an $800 bill or something.
And that's kind of why it's really important to have a really good filing system at home, because, yeah, tracking those medicals, and then for those of us who fall under Indian Health Services too, we need to make sure and look what our Blue Cross statements say. Like, when I go to the doctor, then I had a doctor's appointment, as soon as that Blue Cross statement comes in, I put that in a folder and make sure that the date and the doctor that I seen is correct on it. And then I wait, because I've got 2 insurances, so then I wait for the statement that comes from my husband's insurance, and then I staple that with it. And most of the time, those 2 insurances will pay everything that was there. And then if not, then I have that information handy so that I can take a copy of it to IHS, so that they can pay the balance of it. Rarely does that happen. But yeah, in some cases, they don't bill it right away. It took me almost 2 years on one bill one time, and I was calling, it's just so much fun being put on hold and going through their automated system, but it's,
And some of those, then by the time the hospital keeps, doing their stupid stuff, then the insurance is like, well, it's past the time, they're gonna have to pay it.
yeah, well, and that's why it's, to our best interest to make sure that we keep all that stuff and we follow up with them. If we didn't get anything in the mail back from Blue Cross showing that they made a payment within a month, then you better be on the phone with Blue Cross, or to the doctor's office first, where you went and received the service, and, because you know that you were seen. So if you're not getting something, that's part of something we need to follow up on too, because, yeah, sometimes they're very slow.
And you have to be careful when you turn your bills in over, like, is it the IHS or the
Yeah.
clinic? Because some of my husbands, I turned in several times,
Mhm.
and they never paid. And they're the ones that referred him to that doctor.
Yeah. I note and date every time I talk to somebody, the time that I call.
And that's the other thing, make
when
sure
I-
that you write down the name and that you write down the time that you talk to them and
Date.
just, so you've got it. And I'm sure all of you do too, when I go to a doctor or whatever, I get that Blue Cross bill that says, we paid this much, you owe that much. So that's kind of your proof right there that, your insurance paid, but you still owe, I don't know, however much it is, so, that's in the record keeping, to keep those, so you know that you do owe it.
Well, and sometimes they'll say Blue Cross paid this, you may be responsible. Sometimes the doctors don't charge you that extra. They'll take what your insurance pays.
But usually it shows up on your bill. Mine always shows up that the charge was this amount, they approved this amount, and then the doctor accepted that
Yeah.
amount, and then it shows the balance 0. So that's the way mine come,
But
but,
I don't always do that. Sometimes it'll say you may owe,
Right.
but then if I ask the doctor, it's like, no, this is what you can do.
yeah, mine have, maybe I should look closer, but I think mine have always come with
Yeah, I
that,
always wait till the backup one that comes after that, showing that there's a now 0 balance, so.
Yeah, because you always get the one that says this is not a bill, yeah.
Right.
Right, so, but back to what you were saying, they are going to do whatever they can, to scare you into trying to pay that debt. They're gonna threaten you however, and they can. Some of that is legal, but,
But you gotta be real careful too, because sometimes when you get a call like that, and they're demanding and wanting you to pay now by this time, and if they're asking for a credit card or some way.
They wanted me to go to like a Western Union.
yeah, they do, yeah.
But after that call, cause I had talked to my mom about it, I was like literally in tears,
Oh, yeah.
freaking out. And, so I went and talked to my mom about it, and my mom was like, you know, that might be a scam, I wouldn't pay it, you know, cause they wanted me to come up with like $1,000. And what it was for was only like $600.
Wow.
Yeah, so I didn't know, and,
Most of the time when you get that type of a call, you need to say, okay, I need your name and I need your phone number and the business address for where you're calling from, and get that information written down and then say, and just so you know, I'm hanging up and I'm calling the police.
yeah, and well,
Report this.
and then when I was talking to him, he like kept putting me on hold and said that he was asking his manager or something.
Well, of course.
Yeah, and, but then after I talked to him, I didn't do anything, like I didn't make a payment or anything, cause I didn't even know who I was supposed to make the payment to. I knew what it was for, but I didn't know who to make the payment to or
Right.
anything, and then they said if I didn't have it paid by that night, that I was getting charges pressed and this and that, and then I just recently
I think
received
there's
a
a
letter,
check
this was like,
coming up on
what, a year and a half ago? Long time ago anyway, that I just recently received a letter stating that it went to a different collection agency.
Yeah. And you probably do still owe it,
Yeah,
and you probably, depending on the amount, you could get a settlement.
you know, and it's been over 8 years.
But see, somebody bought it and reactivated it, so, and some of those settlements are good. I do a lot of settlements for people, you know, so I mean, if you wanna come in sometime and talk to me, we can do that, but, they are legit, but I have talked to ones too that are like, well, we'll do this, but we have to have it by 5:35 tonight.
Oh, okay,
Really? You
yeah.
know, I'm just calling to see if we can do this,
Yeah,
and I'm not telling you that we're gonna do it today, you know.
okay,
If we had that kind of money, we would have paid it before.
it would've been paid, yeah.
Right, so, you just wanna watch those. They can take a judgment if they reactivate that, if they bring it back up from the grave, they can, go out and take a judgment if they find out that you're working or whatever income. All they have to do is don't give your social security or credit card over the phone, we've talked about that before. But if they have that information, and sometimes they do get it, are pickles good?
Yeah.
They can get that off of your application or whatever information the creditor gave them. And they can take your income tax, garnish your wages, garnish per cap, whatever. But once they get your social security, if your name is on someone else's account, they can garnish that account. I used to work at a credit union, and we see that all the time. You know, parents that had their kids on their accounts and kids got. At you, but you really need to document that information so that you can get it to the Fair Credit Act people. So, and they can only call between certain hours, like, they can't call before 7 in the morning and they can't call after 9 at night.
Yeah, but
So-
who polices that? You know what I mean? Like, they try
No.
to do things and,
Right.
you know, I think
I think everybody with cell phones or whatever now, I don't answer, if I don't know the number, I don't answer it. You know, I just, and if they leave a message, then fine, if they don't, they didn't need me.
Yep, because a lot of times they won't leave a message.
Right.
But I think at this point, since we've been talking about all of this, is that, you know, just because somebody calls you, doesn't mean that they can like run your life. Don't
Well,
let them
exactly.
scare you,
Right.
just reverse it and go, okay, give me your name, what company are you calling from, what's your telephone number? If they're not legit, they're gonna hang up on you right away.
Oh,
They
right.
hang up on me, I mean, I don't get collection calls, but when I get those stupid calls about,
The rate change?
you could get a better interest rate, hold on for the next representative. And as soon as I say, put me on your do not call list, bang, they just hang right up on me.
Right.
So don't let people scare you.
Yeah, don't let them
Just get
scare you.
get their information.
They can't do that, so I'm
They're not
sorry
gonna
that
come
you
to your
went through
house.
that, but,
You know,
they can't do
but they
anything. It's
they
not
like to prey on people like
Right.
that, you know?
And they do, it's just like trying to get social security numbers and credit card
I didn't
numbers.
know any better.
Right,
If I had
But
the
now
money, I
you
would've
do.
paid it too.
So now you
Right.
know the questions to ask them when they do call you, so that they
Yeah.
don't make you
Right.
feel like that.
what is your name, what company are you with,
Mhm.
you know, you need to document that, and they're not gonna prove it to you.
Okay.
So they went out, they bought it, they're just trying to make a buck. But it is a legit, so they can. But don't give them anything. Liz gets those calls about the rate changes. I got one the other day and I
Like 3
didn't
times a
answer it.
day I got those.
But remember I called it back,
Mhm.
and I called the number back just to see where it was gonna go to. And I had it on speakerphone, Liz was in the office. And it actually said, if you do not want to receive any calls from this number, press 1, which I
Mhm.
did to delete it out. But she doesn't get that one, so, and it was just
Yeah.
for a rate change. But watch those too, if they're calling to tell you that you're gonna get a lower rate on a credit card or something, you gotta be careful of those too.
Or student loans.
Yeah, yeah.
Ever,
Yeah, you gotta watch those, they're just, there's so much of our information is just out there for everybody that, and it's public, so they can do it. And they just, somebody's smart enough to sit around and come up with the scams. So, you got anything?
Nope, just kind of a spin-off from this, if you guys don't have any questions, is, when is the last time you reviewed, your insurance coverage?
Yep.
All the types of insurances that you may have.
No, I need to get rid of some, my accountant told me I'm insurance poor.
Yeah, yeah.
Means I have too many.
That seems to be the big thing right now,
Yeah,
so
right
go
now, a
on
lot of
that.
things with insurance, I was just at a training on insurances, and you need to really pay attention and really read the fine print on insurance policies, because, you know, years ago, my husband and I bought several universal whole life insurance policies that are supposed to build this cash equity value as we age. We've paid for 30 years on these accounts, and to only discover that in the event when one of us dies, we only get the cash, not the cash value, but we get the value of that policy when we purchased it. That cash value stays with the company. So anytime that you look at insurances and they're like, oh, it's a savings account, it's a way to build money up. It's not. You really need to be careful.
They say term is your best.
Yep,
So
term
you
is
need
your
to
best.
take out that equity that you have built in it?
Well, that's what we're getting ready to go do,
That's-
so.
That's the goal,
So,
right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the best thing you can do is to, buy a term life insurance policy. The recommendation is whatever your household income that you provide as an individual, you need to take out a policy for 10 times that, so that if something did happen to you, whoever's still responsible for maintaining your house or your children, they can get through that, period of being able to do that. So that's just a real good tip. Another thing is to be very careful when people try to sell you all these add-on insurance things. A lot of things are unnecessary, like even when you go to the store and they say, oh, take out this extra warranty. It's just a scam, don't buy it, it's just wasting, throwing your money away. A lot of other insurance add-ons, people will sell you cancer insurance. Well, most people under our health insurance already have cancer insurance, so, do you really wanna throw that money away? So, and they'll say, oh, do you have cancer, in your family, things like that. You really need to look, what is my health, if, I do know of somebody whose family, had a lot of cancer that ran in their family, they took the extra policy, and partly their health insurance wasn't a strong enough health insurance policy that, when something like that happened, that it would cover enough. So even with that, knowing what your health insurance covers, does your health insurance have a cap on it that after they've spent $1 million in healthcare services on you over your lifetime, are you capped out? So I would love for everybody to kind of, as some homework before next month, is to go review any and all insurance policies you have. Read the fine print, and
So so is that something you can help us with?
Yeah.
Cause I just told Sherrill, I've got to, cause my husband bought a bunch on us, and then I took up some of the tribe, and then I found out when I did the ones with the tribe, that I need to check on some of them, like, that I bought for my grandson, because I have, he has Medicaid also with the Blue Cross, that even if I were to use them, that they wouldn't pay anything as long as he has Medicaid, and I didn't know that.
And somebody really, really good that understands a lot of the insurances is Lisa Peters over at Member Services through the at-large program. So she's done a lot of training.
She's real
So
good with it.
we continue to train ourselves in different areas, and so that we can bring information to you guys. So, but yeah, this is kind of a big area too.
I'm thinking some of them have gotten enough of my money, I need to.
Exactly.
I'm gonna get rid of my Aflac.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm paying for nothing on that. So I am gonna get rid of it. It's a lot of money that I pay out. And when April was telling me about it, and I have the cancer one, but somebody told me it's not just for that. Anyway, so I'm just gonna get rid
Well,
of
like
it.
that major medical or something, but.
Yeah,
covers
no,
cancer and other stuff.
Well, yeah,
So then you get rid of it and something happens.
but like April said, I have that coverage under my insurance, under my Blue Cross
Does
anyway.
it cover enough of that?
Most of
The
the time
new
they say
Aflac
that-
one, Deb, help me on this, the new Aflac one pays you a lump sum now.
Mhm.
It's not like it used to be when we just did that changeover.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna cancel it because if, in the event that I got cancer, it's only gonna give me,
However much you paid for.
yeah,
Cause like, for example,
So-
I have the Aflac one, because of my age, it only cost me like $7 a paycheck, but
yeah.
if I get one of the catastrophic medicals, they'll cut me a $20,000 lump sum check.
See, and I think mine is 10.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think my daughter can take
And
care of
that's
me on
not
$10,000.
paid for any
anyway.
sort of medical, that's just for everything outside what your health insurance would pay for.
Right,
Okay.
So part of what I want everybody to do is to
Yeah.
really look over your insurances, to do, pull them, do a review, highlight, is there a cap? And then highlight the disclaimers, that they will not cover, and then what you're paying for, what amount of coverage, so, you'll probably really be surprised.
so, and we do have videos that we can show. We might have to cut them up a little bit just because they're long. But if you want to see those, we can do those here. Just to give you a little bit more information, but April's done
And
this.
I'm finding out too that a lot of times when you go, and a lot of us have, insurance companies, like for our auto and different things like that too. That we might have been working with a company for a long time. And if they're a really good agent, they're gonna review, find you the best deal, they're gonna, recommend this for you. But when they start recommending this add-on and this add-on and this add-on, then they're just there to make the money. So, so you need to really get educated on that, so know what you're paying for. And add-ons, most of them you can get rid of and save yourself some money, so.
Like raising your deductible, that will lower your car insurance.
Oh, huge.
But, do you have the $1,000 to, if everybody puts their rainy day fund away, but, I mean, it rains every day at my house, so, I don't really have a rainy day
I
fund.
just went to my car yesterday.
Right, but if you, I've been paying my car insurance for how long, and I don't use it, but about the time I raise my dedeductible, something's gonna happen.
But at least you'll have it, and if you get in the habit of always putting money into that savings account, if you guys can do a separate deduction into a savings account for a rainy day, and then if you do a comparison, okay, if I raise my insurance deductibles to 1,000, does it benefit me? So that's another thing you need to look at, what it would save you if you did do that. But then you have to be diligent about putting that money aside every pay period into that savings account.
Yeah, because actually,
And-
what you save, you might help pay for
Correct.
what you need to
And
save.
realistically.
But you need to put it in an account that you don't know about, or that's at a different institution, or something. One thing I've been doing, and I have been taking, I told you this last month, I don't remember. When I get paid, after my direct deposit hits, I look at what the balance was before, and whatever that balance was, I transfer up into my savings account. So, you know, this month it was only like 20 or 30 bucks, but,
Yeah, it's under
you know,
$2.
right, so I just put it up into my savings account, and maybe next payday I'll have a little bit more, but, so, but that's just something that I've been doing, and it's kinda like, oh, look at that, it's building up, you know, so that's just another, if it's in there, get rid of it. You didn't use it in those 2 weeks, so put it, you know, right.
Well, if you can get in that habit, then when something does happen, like a car breakdown or, you know, something major that's not, you know, oh, I just have this money free, then you're ready for it, and then you're not so stressed out. And then when you continue to get in that habit, let's say for people that are homeowners, if you continue to do this and add more to it, well, then when it comes time to replace that roof or something, then you have the money there. So, you know, challenge yourself. Okay, I'm putting $100 every pay period, but as, you know, things improve and you haven't had anything and that's building up, continue to do that, add more when you can. So it only benefits you.
Okay, that was a part of it.
It is so good.
Does anybody have any questions or anything they wanna talk about?
I got a question, you know, like, how sometimes there will be two people with the same name? Well, what do? Do you give them, well, no, that's not me, if it's not the correct address, well, obvious, but do you give them a birth date?
No.
Then what do you do then?
Then you have.
No, they have to
do
prove to
something.
you that, you know, you're the Deb that they're looking for, you know. That happens a lot, mostly with men, because of seniors and juniors and first, seconds, thirds. I see it where, you know, something that was the dad's is going on the kids or vice versa. And so then, however, you're the one that has to prove it to the credit bureau, if it's a legit, if they just call and, you know, they found your name and it's
Well,
similar to.
there is, but her name is spelled Deborah. Well, mine is spelled Debra.
Right.
And I'm sure she doesn't have a middle name Lou.
Right. Right, so just make sure if
Yeah,
somebody
just,
does.
you know, that's not you,
need to
so.
send me something
Yeah.
because I don't know who
But
you
is
are.
it shown on your credit, or is it,
No, I've got perfect credit.
so it's
Mine's
not
like-
affecting you, they're just calling
No,
you?
mine is like 840, you know, my
Very
credit's.
good.
Right,
Very
They're
good
just
job,
calling, asking for a Deborah Mountain, and it's like, no,
wrong one.
yeah.
I always know they don't know who I am when they call and ask for Sherrill, so. Yes, sir.
That actually happened to me. I went to get an apartment and they had like pulled a credit check something out for somebody else that was in Vermont. And they tried to say it was me and they had all these charges on it, and I'm like, I just started out, I don't have any charges on me.
Yeah.
And I'm still fighting it right now, trying to go through it all.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And I was like, I'm not even 21 yet and you're trying to go through all this stuff.
Which brings me to another tip that I wanna bring up with you guys too, is that, you know, everybody should invest by,
Yes, I was gonna bring
you know, identity fraud, you know, hook up with a good
it. LifeLock's a good one.
LifeLock's very good, there's another company through Xander Insurance that's very good. But there's a lot of junk companies out there that say, you know, we'll monitor your credit for you. You don't wanna just hook up with one that's gonna monitor your credit. You want somebody that has the skills, that if something, like your situation has happened, if that arises, that you can turn this over to them and they will take care of it. Because there are a lot of man hours and a lot of frustration when somebody takes your identity. A lot of legwork that has to be done. So
But what I
you
don't
wanna
like-
really search those companies out.
What I don't like either is, you know, they're trying to sell you a warranty, and it's like, hey, wait a minute, my car is under warranty, what do I need a second one?
You don't need those warranties, just have a separate savings account where you're putting money away. I mean, most of those are just junk policies for them to make money.
Yeah, because my car was new, you know, it was under
Yes.
warranty,
Right.
but I didn't
You don't, or the extended warranty, or,
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you buy something in a store, oh, do you want, you know, the warranty on it? No, if it breaks, I'm gonna throw it away.
Yeah, so you buy a $99 TV.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to get another $17 out of selling you a 2-year warranty, and it's like.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
like, you
first-
get what you pay for, you
And then
know?
the first year's covered,
Thank you, Ann.
you know, the first year's covered,
Yeah.
Right,
So
so,
just be very,
yeah, just be real careful what, what you're doing. And then just watch those zombie collectors, they got quite the little,
Tactics.
and you know
Yeah.
where to find it when you need help.
See somebody in a zombie suit
Yep.
coming
I
to
actually
kill
had the police come to my house once to arrest me for a guy that had my name, same middle initial and everything. It just so happened though that my husband had worked on a house where this guy worked, and so he said, no, you're looking for this person, and it's a guy, not, my wife wasn't even in that area.
my brother was actually escorted, handcuffed out of his business that he owned.
Oh my goodness.
Because of
And it
someone
wasn't
else.
him, yeah, with a whole different name, and yeah, how embarrassing is that?
You know, James stuff.
So,
My aunt
Well, all
and
right.
my mom both have the same name, they're both Terry Roofers.
Yeah.
yeah, I think when you're growing up, you should just not name your kids the same as,
Well, no, my dad has a sister named Terry, and then he married my mom, who was a Terry.
Oh, yeah,
So,
Yeah,
they're
okay.
both Terry Roofers. My mom always did letters for my Aunt Terry, and she's like, you don't even live in the same state.
right, right. Oh.
All right.
Well, thank you, everybody.
If I can wait for her at work, so I can wave at her.
You got your evaluation?
She don't even
Oh,
need
yeah.
that phone money.
Come on.
It's a great place to put topics